I wouldn't really like force meme picks. Like again, Garen Yuumi is obviously a funny one, right? Like that's always a banger to watch, so that's always fun. But for me, myself, what would I play? I don't know. Maybe I would play jungle for a game for fun. I think jungle is a fun role. I would love to experience it from a competitive standpoint, right?
Vladimir will never get nerfed. You will get an 05 Yasuo in every one of your ranked games. NA will win worlds.
Hey man, got trouble sleeping? Try Brain Effect Sleep.
What are you doing in my home?
Hello everyone, this is Darius from the Shotcaller once again, joined by Bwipo after a interesting win against Vitality with the Garen Yuumi Botlane. Was Yuumi the secret to making Garen work all along?
I think so. I think Yuumi is a bit overpowered, and I don't think it really matters what you put with Yuumi in the bot lane. Ultimately, to make her look a bit unbalanced, the damage graph shows that Yuumi has a lot more to offer than conventional support picks. But yeah, I think it's something that High Yellow saw quite a bit, and then it died down a bit, and we felt like this game would be a good game to play Garen.
Yeah, for whatever reason, Vitality is always the team that gets Garen picked against them. We'll see whether that keeps on going, but it's like the strategy behind it, literally to have the most tanky, beefy silence. I mean, he built side stones as well, so he was basically a support that just is a car for the Yuumi.
Basically, yeah, he's a car. He has his own health regen, so he sustains himself. Has movement speed on demand, has tenacity on demand. Like, is a champion that's hard to lock down. That's the ideal reason why he works, right? He has no resource either, which means that you can stay for a prolonged amount of time, and your Yuumi can dictate when she wants to base. And that's like the big deal here, because Yuumi is the carry, whereas other champions that are a bit beefy that you might think, maybe like a champion like Udyr is like a beefy champion that can run fast and, he's hard to kill. He just has a resource, which means that he's dictating how the lane is played, whereas with Garen, Yuumi gets to do anything she wants, right? Because Garen's just sitting there like, I'm regening HP. If you go on me, I'm tanky, you can't really kill me. And yeah, my base damages are pretty high, which means that building a side stone to funnel her the gold, because that's ultimately another reason why it works better than other champions that might have to go Corrupting Potion or Darn Shield to stay in lane. He just has a whole package of what Yuumi wants to take control over the lane.
Pretty nice. I think you and Hili-san were definitely competing for the damage charts here. Can we see more Jace in the future as well?
I'm not sure. I think it's a champion that I've been practicing in my solo queue games because, the recent changes feel like a buff because he gets stronger as the game goes on, which means his poke is more potent in the later stages of the game. And I feel like that's something that the competitive side of Jace prefers, right? He likes dealing more damage as the game goes on. So all in all, I think he's a decent pick. I don't think he's going to catch on that fast, nor do I think he's that high priority. It was just, he's another answer into Karma that you can consider. It's like a 5. Like I think right now, in the past you would pick Jace because he was always winning every matchup 6-4 at the very least, if not like 8-2. But since the changes, they're not directly nerfs because he does get stronger as the game goes on. But since the changes, he feels more like a champion that's he's just there, like he's a safe, solid. He's just Jace. Like he's just there. Pokes he hurts like a motherfucker. He hurts a lot when you get ahead and you get a few Infernal Drakes, then it gets really, really disgusting. So.
And it did this game, and of course it's a comfort pick for you. I mean, it's a good old Jace pick from Bwipo.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly haven't played him that much competitively, but he is one of my most played champions, and Gangplank and Jace are my two historically most played champions, at least in solo queue. So pretty good that I got to pull both out on this week and get some confidence going into the important match in Splice next week.
Exactly. Perfect transition. Thank you so much. What are your thoughts on that upcoming matchup?
Honestly, I think they had the control of the early game last time we played, and they threw it back to us. We took control. We had a 3.5, 4K gold lead between 25 and 30 minutes. It was before we went on to try and dive the tier 2 mid to kill Kobe on Xayah when he had no flash. We messed up our execution. I mean, I messed up as well. Like, I feel like that was a play we could have made if we were a bit more crisp. But because it failed, we threw back the advantage and ultimately ended up losing. So all in all, we've lost to Splice twice in the past 2 years. So I'm not too worried. I think they're a decent team. I think they know how to win the game. The thing is that the way they win the game usually plays into how we end up winning games that we're losing, if that makes sense.
Which would be elaborative.
I mean, it's more like, I feel like when we're losing the game, the way we come back is usually a team fight. And I feel like they want to win through a team fight, which means that they're giving us a chance to... Every time I play Splice, I feel like there's always hope that there's going to be that one team fight we can come back in, if that makes sense.
Okay, fair.
So, again, I think they're a good team. I don't want to disrespect them by any means. They've done solid works in spring. And, again, it's just stylistically, I just feel like we always have a chance to come back, but I'm sure they feel the same way against us.
I mean, yeah, and like Reckless, for example, mentioned in the post-game lobby that the bot lane matchup is one he really, really doesn't like to play. But of course, they do, in order to make that matchup work, they sometimes, sacrifice. Or was it Schalke he was talking about? No, he was...
I think it was Schalke.
Oh, was he Schalke? Yeah, I think I got it confused.
Against Splice, I think he said that he didn't really mind.
Okay.
Because Copy's more farming for late.
Yeah.
I believe that's what he said. Like,
I mean, it wouldn't make sense also, because Schalke's bot lane was the one that is always so oppressive.
They're like bringing the jungler to the party.
Yeah, they're having fun down there. And to be fair, I mean, Upset and Ignore are just disgusting early sometimes.
Yeah, they're good players.
For sure. Overall, do you think that the level of LEC, like looking back at summer last year, you guys were really, really strong. We were dominating pretty hard. And then there was like G2 doing well. And, we had some decent teams. But Schalke was really good back then, for example, as well. But now you look at LEC now, and I feel like over the last few weeks, we've seen questionable games here and there from top teams here and there, from Fnatic as well. Do you think that the level has improved compared to spring, for example, or do you think we're kind of in a more rocky spot than we would like to admit?
I think honestly the bottom two teams are tanking it a bit, because they're not even being considered in the LEC because they're just tanking it. Like Misfits and SK are kind of dropped out of competition almost. And because of that, I feel like people are kind of neglecting their level of play when they ask how good is LEC in general. That said, I think the top 6, top 7, top 8 is obviously a lot stronger, right? I think compared to, especially last year, it was more like you had a few high-tier teams where you could expect some high-level gameplay of. Whereas now, I feel like if you go on the Rift, you can expect high-level gameplay from any of the teams. And if they don't play to that standard, you feel like it was them underperforming to a certain extent.
So similar to, say, Origin now not performing on the level that we'd expect them to, but we know they have the potential.
Well, we assume they can play that level of League of Legends because they've shown it before, right? Whereas the teams in the past, they never really showed that, any type of proficiency past a certain point in the mid game. Whereas in this case, I feel like there's plenty of teams that are good. They're good at a bunch of stuff, and it's a matter of making it all fit and pushing it onto stage and making it happen.
So, assuming that next week you guys do beat Splice and you guys should be relatively set to keep that second place. There is a small scenario in which you can still lose it, but assuming that you guys would be locked.
If we go 2-0, we have it.
Yeah, you guys do. But imagine if you would lock it with a win against Splice and the last game of the season, it sometimes gets a bit memey here and there. We've seen teams get out, put the support on the jungler and let him play Lee Sin and that kind of stuff. I remember when did Lee Sin, that was fun. If you had any choice, if you would be the coach in that situation, you could draft any champions for the entire Fnatic roster. Who gets what?
I think that's a pretty hard question. Who gets what in general? I don't know. It's hard to say, because I was just thinking, what would I have fun with, right? But for me, I'm not sure. I feel like I kind of enjoy playing top lane right now. I feel like there's enough diversity. I feel like I can play what I want to play. So in general, this type of question, I'm not that excited about this type of question because it's honestly, I'm having fun. The champion's top you're either good enough to make them work or you can't play them, right? So it's on me, and I feel like that challenge is what I enjoy. But in general, I would just...
No meme picks?
I wouldn't really force meme picks. Again, Garen Yuumi is obviously a funny one, right? That's always a banger to watch, so that's always fun. But for me, myself, what would I play? I don't know. Maybe I would play jungle for a game for fun. I think jungle is a fun role. I would love to experience it from a competitive standpoint, right? Because sometimes I just feel I just pick this champion, I press this button, and I kill someone, no? Isn't that how it works? So I'd love to see it. Is that actually how it works?
I mean, with some champions, Sejuani is basically just going in, ulting, and then, the champion is basically deleted at that point. So
yeah, maybe that's how it is for junglers, Maybe that's how, maybe the way I feel about a jungler is they have the power, They have the R button. Lee Sin, Gragas, Sejuani, it doesn't fucking matter, Any champion, just they press R on me and I kind of die and I'm just isn't that somewhat unbalanced? Isn't that somewhat stupid?
Is jungle more unbalanced than bot lane, or is bot lane more unbalanced than jungle?
I think jungle is more unbalanced than bot lane because jungle has more influence on bot lane.
Smart 200 IQ answer right there. Overall, are you satisfied with Fnatic's performance over the split, or do you think that if we would have done X or Y, we actually could have reached even higher heights?
ultimately, I think every single person on this team wants to 3-0 G2 at the end of the month. There's no twisting or turning that. That's the goal. That's what we want to do. That's what we're aiming for. We think we can. I think we can. I think it's just a matter of bringing our guns to the table and making sure that we're playing our game. Because again, like I think Jaco said in an interview as well, he said, he likes playing us because we fight back, right? And it's on us to fight back and punch harder, right? There's a fight, a very iconic fight, I believe, between I don't know what their names are, but it's basically a fight where two heavyweights just like slam each other's face in, like the entire time, keep punching, just destroy each other. This, like, I'm sure, do you know the fight?
Is it like a boxing fight?
Yeah, it was no, I think MMA fight. It was an MMA fight.
Okay.
It was like two heavyweights and they just legit punched each other's face and didn't stop. It was a hilarious video, honestly lovely, and that's how I feel when I play G2. It's like it's a matter of not being the guy that backs down first, because as soon as you take a punch and don't deal one back, you're on the back foot. And once you're on the back foot, the punches keep coming. They don't stop, right? And I feel like it goes both ways when we play G2 Fnatic, which means that ultimately, from our side, we feel like if we can keep dealing the punches that hurt, we're going to get them, right? That's why, that's the goal. And no, I'm not happy with our performance because we need to perform a lot better to be able to achieve that.
Okay, so excited for that one for sure. One final question.
Yeah.
Worlds 2019, Fnatic again makes finals in Paris. Which team would you like to face there?
Oh, that's a really good question. IG for the revenge, obviously, but honestly, it doesn't even look like I heard they're like 7th in standings and they're kind of doing poorly.
There's this like what's the name? It has a really weird name. The top LPL team at the moment.
TES, FPX? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
No, I'm not sure. This is the teams I know that are good. I'm not sure. It could be a completely different team. I haven't followed Chinese scene
Yeah,
that
like
much.
RNG is 4th and something like that. It's like,
I don't know. Anyway, my point is IG for revenge, obviously. We want to run it back against those guys. If not, G2 would be absolutely hype because 2 European teams in a final, and I don't want to, disappoint Splice in saying this, but I don't see any other Western team in general make it to a Worlds finals rather than other than G2 and Fnatic. So, sorry, NA. Sorry, 3rd seed or 2nd seed maybe from EU, but that's just me. That's how I feel. I feel like that's how everybody feels.
yeah.
That's why they're saying this would be the most hype, because they can't imagine any other EU team getting that far. But, all the props to them if they can make it, because again, at a certain extent, when you're at Worlds, you want to see your region do well, right? Like if there's a no stakes, nothing involves you, right? You just want to see, go get them,
And hey, even Vitality did that in group stage. They didn't make it out, but they did get him. So they got him. That what? Go get him, Tiger. That's a message. At the end of the day, we just want full on, just do your best, and then we'll see what happens. Would be very exciting. Anyway, anything you would like to say to the Fnatic fans?
Just again, thanks for the support. I feel like I played a pretty good week. I hope people are satisfied with my performance.
Didn't reach the 10 kills.
I did not reach the 10 kills, unfortunately, but I tried really hard, actually. I was trying to KS people, but not today, not yesterday either. Anyway, something we can do in the future. Not really going to focus on it. I never did, really. I didn't today either. I want people to be reassured that, again, I'm not trying to get 10 kills. I'm just playing my game as per usual. I hope people are more confident in our performance after this week. I know our early game's been a bit shaky, but I feel like that's kind of a test of strength for us, in the sense that if our early game is shaky and we're still winning, I feel like that's a good sign for Fnatic, because this is how I felt at Worlds 2018. This is done, even if we lost early game, I didn't really care. I knew we were going to have a good chance at winning this game, no matter what. And if we won early game, it was like, all right, how is it, like, I can't even see how we lose this game. So I feel like I'm getting that type of confidence in our team back, and it's great.
Whew, Worlds 2018 Fnatic is slowly but steadily coming back.
I mean, the way I feel about it.
Oh yeah, like the feeling is coming. That's what I mean. Like that is exciting to hear as a European fan, of course, and a hashtag for the people that watch until the end.
Hashtag that fight that you should probably link for me. Too long?
Hashtag that fight. Let's
That
just go.
fight, right,
That fight. Anyone? There will be people linking it in there.
I mean, it's a great video. 10 out of 10. Worth watching.
I'm very excited to see it. 100%. Thank you so much, people, for your time. Make sure to follow them on Twitter, of course. This is Darius from the Shotcaller, and I'll see you guys with more LEC interviews in week 9. See you guys then. Bye bye.
We'd especially like to thank Krzysztof Bujnowicz, Erich Althaus, Lukas Legal, Lazy Raven, and Adam Novosviat for your continuous and very special support, and of course all the people whose names you see scrolling past you right now. We have a lot of amazing projects, and of course Worlds 2019 in Europe coming up, so thank you so much for supporting us and enabling us to do our work. Thank you.